shift and separation. It allows your arms to drop in the slot without you thinking about it. So you can do to layer this into your golf swing. I'd rather use this side of the fence. What effect that has mainly on the golf ball. As you can see from the back view, I am so shut. Then this side of the fence. It's like the TT out there. You can understand why that golf ball does what it does. Hi everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. Thank you very much for joining myself, Warren Bennett. And as you know by now, if you've been here, that's Trev down there. Now this video, as you can tell with the title, is called Shift and Separation. Now there's two types of golfers. One that does this too much and one not enough. And I'm going to tell you what benefits you can do to layer this into your golf swing and see the improvements, not only in strike, but starting line and spin and control as well. So, nice bit of sunshine, let's hope it sticks around. Unfortunately, Trev can't stick around there. I'll have to get him off the mat, get the back camera set up, and we'll see you in a bit. Okay everyone, so welcome to another video. Thank you very much for joining me. And firstly, before I get going, thank you very much for everyone who's joined the Academy. Can't believe it. So if you're unsure, you can just become a member of the Academy. And it's basically, like I said in a few videos ago, it's basically to help me keep the wheels turning. I'm here doing videos and it's 3 hours away from home. So it basically keeps the wheels turning and gets me on the mat and getting to do some videos. It's $2.99 a month. And at the moment, I can change it and edit it, which I will do probably going forward, is you get early access to a video. And then I might introduce another tier here and there. So, okay, yeah, but firstly, thank you very much. I'm overwhelmed by that. So, yeah, I really appreciate that. So, shift and separation. Let's get going. So like I said in the intro, there's two versions of this. And I'm going to tell you what that does and what effect that has mainly on the golf ball. So I've got the flight scope set up down there and it's going to show you what effect it has on the ball and what effect it has on this club and the path, and then hopefully you can layer that into your swing. But first of all, you've got to know what shift and separation that you have in your swing, or lack of it. Okay, let's get going. Let's just hit one more. It felt pretty neutral. I'm going to start off with the more common fault with the club golfer, and that's someone who kind of stays back on their back foot and just kind of cuts across it a little bit too much and doesn't create the kind of the inside path, the lag and the compression they're looking for. So as you can see with the lines there, what you're looking for in a golfer that's kind of a little bit static, a little bit too top half dominant, what you're looking for the steering wheel of your golf swing to be a little bit more lateral. So shift and separation means you want to shift off your right side and into your left much earlier, the feel anyway, because the more you can get lateral, as you can see, the line I've got on my right hip there compared to kind of halfway down and way out off it. It doesn't matter if you're a bit stuck for now, but what you're looking for, you golfers who are a little bit early, a little bit back off that line, as you can see I'm keeping against that back line, is you're looking to be the complete opposite to that. So let me show you. I obviously haven't got an over the top fault, so if I do this too much, the ball should start a long way right, and if I introduce a bit of release, it should draw. But first of all, it should start a long way right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a normal backswing, and then 7/8 of the way up I want to really shift and just do a lateral shift. As you can see from the back view, I am so shut. So what that's going to do, remember, if you've got an over the top, that's going to help drop this club on the inside. Obviously for me it's going to be too much, but let me show you. So 3/4 of the way up, I'm going to really start shifting. So that's going to guarantee that ball to start right, as you can see there. So use slices of the ball, and people who start it left and have to hang on to that face to stop it going even further left, do this. This is a great one. So even halfway back, because remember, what you're feeling is going early probably isn't. So you're really looking to kind of shift everything as you've got here. That's mechanically and technically incorrect, but remember, what you're looking for from this position is just kind of letting the club head pass you a little bit more, but you've got to be in the position to do that. So shift and separation. The separation bit is you're separating really the lateral shift, you're separating the bottom half to the top half. The more you can get your top half, the bottom half shifting, the more that can go, and the bottom half can then be stationary, so you can be passive, I mean. So it allows your arms to drop in the slot without you thinking about it. Because if you do the opposite, if you stay back and don't shift at all, that's going to encourage this club. If I hit 100 balls, the 100th ball is going to be way back here if I start doing something really silly with my bottom half, which I see a lot of club golfers who slice do. Really shift my right pocket kind of in line, feeling with the ball, as you can see there. I'm going to really feel like my right pocket, as you can see with the line inside. It's going to guarantee if I've got a tree ahead of me, I'm going to start it right without aiming right for now, remember? Oh, that was massive. Wow, wow, there we go. And remember, this is too much. This is technically incorrect for me because this is really easy for me. For me, I need to do the opposite, which I'm going to show you in a little while. So remember, you can hit little half shots. So, grab an 8 iron, kind of you can take your stance in a little bit narrower. That's going to help with a little bit of weight shift, because remember, the wider you have the stance, the harder it is to do. So narrow in a little bit, practice swing to start with, halfway back, and you're just going to do this little bumpy shift here. Remember, the one thing that improves 4. If this steering wheel does that after a period of time, and you're gripping, you allow these arms to go light, that's going to want to drop for you. So narrow in, nice and light. I'm not going to go full out. Halfway back and do a little bump. So remember, if it's new, it's going to be different. You're going to lose your timing a little bit. You don't have to be perfect in the first dozen balls. So nice and light, backswing till about here. Continue backswing whilst you kind of slide forward. Right, there's your kind of your shifting and your separation at the same time. Oh, that was lovely. Look at that, like a nice little block out to the right. Now, obviously you don't want to kind of miss it to the right too much every time, do you? Obviously. So you golfers who are over the top and kind of static with your release, if you do this, 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to be static with the release. So the ball will start right, but it will ever come back. So how do you change that? You have to introduce some release. So you've got to get these hands rolling, either your glove, your logo of your glove, if I had one, it's going to be pointing down as early as you can. Or your right palm, if you're right-handed, got to be pointing down. That's going to be a simultaneous feeling coming down to the ball, because what you don't want to do is start shifting. By the time you think about that, it's too late. You've already hit the ball. The ball will tell you that. But your first port of call is to do this shift and separation. Then you can release it. Let me see if I can do both. So I'm going to, as soon as I start feeling that with my pockets, I'm going to start feeling my wrists roll over. This should draw more. Didn't hit it full out, so it won't kind of hook. It's starting to. You can see with the shadow there a little bit. Let me see if I can do it a little bit earlier. So it's not more release, it's just an earlier release for me, you see. Remember, I don't have an over the top fault, so it's always going to start right. And my practice back in the day was to stop this, so I need a bit of practice to kind of get some hooking spin into it. Right, okay. Shift and release. That was better. Much earlier with the release, that should draw. There we go. So the ball's your best teacher, like I always say in every video, really. So shift and separation. You slicers, you need to get off your right side, shifting into this kind of left pocket area. Exaggerate. Even if your right leg goes a bit straight, it doesn't matter. I'd rather you this side of the fence feeling than this side of the fence. If you want to change your swing, you've got to start shifting and separating. All right, and then you can really release it from there. Let me just change to a 6 iron. Just change back to a 6 iron. Let me see if I can do a shift and separation whilst I release this one. And then we're going to get onto the other side of the coin in a minute. Didn't strike it perfect, but it felt like it was going to go straightish. There we go, guaranteed up the right. So if I've got a lake on the left, guess what I'm going to do? I don't want to start it left at all. I want to start it away from the trouble, and then I can introduce a bit of release as well to help it kind of draw back away from there. So in past videos, I'm a great advocate, aren't I, in the steering wheel to the golf swing. If you do that after a period of time, if you start really sliding this hip, obviously if you can physically, it's going to be very hard for your club to go out there, isn't it? If your arms and if your grip is nice and light, club nice and heavy, it's going to want to drop in the slot here. And yes, you might need to give it a secondary release feeling to get it back to the target. Okay, so that's the people who slice the ball. Let's work on shift and separation for people who are probably a little bit too much like that, me. Right, so this is completely opposite to what I just showed you. And remember, you have to understand what side of the coin you are. 82% of golfers slice the ball, so that's the first area and that's the first part, phase one. This is going to be phase two for you golfers who are a little bit more blocky and a little bit more hooky. So what you need to do the opposite. You need to make a backswing, and by the time you're 7/8 of the way up, you need to not come off this right pocket line. As you can see there, you need to squeeze down into it. What you're looking for a passive right side. You're not looking for an active right side, blocky, stuck, having to release from there. You're looking for a right side that's very passive, that allows the club to swing a bit more out in front of you, you see. That's the key. Remember what I said before, if you slidey, it's going to go dropping under your right arm, your left arm I mean. If you're a little bit more passive, you can see the club now coming down my right arm a little bit more instead of under it. You can see there, it allows itself to do that. Now what you don't do, you don't just twist. What I like is like a pressure down. So I'm pressurizing like I want to squeeze something in my pocket area here. There we go. Now halfway down, left arm parallel to the ground. I'm all level. Now to rotate. Okay, let's do it. So a little bit of pressure into my right heel there, and then really pressurize down. And I'm going to show you the difference. And the ball, more importantly, should start a little bit straighter. Well, I didn't strike it, but it definitely started a little bit straighter, as you can see with the flight scope. So the ball started pretty perfect if I wanted to fade it, but obviously it didn't fade back. So I need to kind of work on no release this time. Felt better. And there we go, a little bit of a fade. So the ball starting a bit straighter. But remember, the steering wheel behind that, the ball starting straighter, is this. And that allows the club and my arms to drop out a little bit more in front of me instead of behind me and stuck like you slicers need. Okay, let's give it a go. And this is with every club, by the way. Oh, ladybird. That's for someone who hooks it. That's for someone who slices it. They're both exaggerated. But you've got to feel a bit of exaggeration. Like I've said in the past, you've got to feel a mile to gain an inch. Okay, squat down, and then I can turn through. I thinned it a bit, but it felt pretty straight. As you can see there, the starting line is governed by something else. I don't just stand there and cut across it and just forcing it. It happens. If you want to do it properly, if you want to layer the speed and the control, that's what you do. You work on one part which affects another. Okay everyone, so thanks very much for joining me for another video. The sun's gone away unfortunately, but I hope you've enjoyed this video, and it's all about learning, isn't it? You may have seen some sort of explanation that I've done in the past doing this, like a steering wheel, the torso twist, or whatever the video is. Oh, hi Trev. It's really understanding what side of the fence you are. Give yourself a little bit of time. If you've got a bucket of balls, if you've got 50 balls, give yourself a dozen at least, just to get yourself used to this new position. Take a bit of pace off, get a bit more loft in your hand, take the pressure away from trying to hit a perfect shot. I've given plenty of lessons to golfers who are a little bit too much this way. What's like the TT out there? Yeah, I've given plenty of lessons to golfers who have got either fault, and you give the exaggeration and they think it's too much. And when they layer a golf ball, especially if they're out on the range or anything like that and they're going full speed, it's difficult to change. They have to give that kind of exaggeration feeling. Okay everyone, so let me know which side of the fence you are. Let me know if you've worked on this type of thing in the past, or if you've worked on it and it's worked. Please let me know, I'd love to hear from you. And that goes for any video. Please comment below and I'll do my best to get back to you. And thank you very much for everyone's support and for subscribing and liking the video. I really appreciate it. We're a small little community, we're growing, which is lovely to see. So remember why I'm on this mat, is to give you the content, the understanding, so when you're on that golf course, you can understand why that golf ball does what it does. You might be hooking it too much, or you might be back here and fatting it or lifting up for thing, and you might think, oh yeah, Warren did that video on shift and separation. Let's try that. And it just gets you through that round, doesn't it? And then you can kind of evaluate when you get back. All right, everyone. So, yep, sun's gone away for another day, but I wish you well. Have a great golfing week. From a very noisy London area, we bid you farewell, and have a great golfing week. And we'll see you next time on the video. From myself and Trev, we'll see you then. All the best. Cheerio.